You're thinking about buying or selling a property in or around Jupiter, Florida? Then you found the right video. I'm going to take you through the real estate data that's going to tell you who the market's good for right now. Is that buyers or is it sellers? I'll give you the good and the bad, not just the fluff. Real estate is local. If you're reading national headlines and trying to apply that to the Jupiter real estate market, you're looking at all the wrong data. The Fed has continued to say we're going to see rates higher for longer, and housing supply continues to remain constrained. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how that's affecting the single-family home, condo, and townhome markets separately here in the Jupiter marketplace. All right, let's begin with single-family home sales. Moving from left to right here, let's start with median sold price. To recap, I don't put a ton of weight into this one. It's too easy to push this number around. That being said, we continue to see median prices rising while total sales stagnate or pull back. I've said this a number of times, the good stuff is what's selling. People will pay for the renovated and well-located turnkey kind of stuff, and I think that's really what you see play out here, right? Total number of properties sold. This is one of the big stats to watch. If one property sells for $30 million, it can skew the median housing selling price up along with total volume stats. But what you can't fake are how many homes are actually selling, how many buyers are coming in and raising their hand and saying, I'm ready to buy this house. So over a 30% month over month decline, and back here to kind of flirting with these 5-year lows. This isn't good for sellers. Buyers, it likely means that sellers are seeing less offers on their homes, which should be able to help you negotiate for a better price. Of course, that's a very broad statement and not specific to all properties, and certainly not to all price points. List to sales price, pretty flat here. To review, this basically tells you how far sellers had to come off their original asking price to get their property to sell. So if someone came to market at a price too high or saw too few offers, and they had to close below list price, the seller was forced to take a reduction, probably larger than they anticipated, and had to negotiate more than they thought they would on it. So it's a really good stat to watch in terms of keeping your finger on the overall pulse of the market, I think. Days on market, another big stat to watch, right? For sellers, this is going to tell you how many days you should expect your home to sell within on average. For buyers, this will tell you if a home has been sitting on the market for a long period of time relative to other listings, price points aside, because it's going to differ price point by price point, right? So kind of again, general overview here. Please keep in mind that this reflects the number of days a home was listed before it went to pending sale. It does not include the time when it was under contract for sale, during inspections, during financing periods, anything like that. So sellers, you don't want to see this number rising too far above the averages. If you look at this chart and you just kind of eyeball it, I would say 30 days would be about the average. So sales are taking, let's call it 25% longer than they have historically, or over the last 5 years anyways. Median price per square foot pricing, just like overall median pricing, I don't put a ton of weight into this. Waterfront's going to sell at a higher price per square foot basis than non-waterfront. It all kind of gets lumped in here together. So at least specific to our area, which has wild price swings, whether something's inland or something's right on the water, I think it loses some value here. It may be different if I was in a more landlocked area. Anyways. Total dollar volume is something I like to pay some attention to. It gives you the total breadth of the market, right? Now, again, large sales can skew this number. So things have been bouncing around in a range, let's call it between 50 million and 100 million, something like this recently, right? Right now, I just I see it stuck here a little bit. We'll see what the summer brings, because as we've seen, summer kind of peaks, right? So that being said, if you keep heading towards that $50 million mark, get your popcorn ready, right? Now keep in mind, seasonality, again, should start to pick things up a bit here. So I'm not going to be surprised next month if total dollar volume darts back up again, just because we are getting into the warmer months here. And here we are, at my other most favorite statistic, along with the number of properties sold, months of housing supply in Jupiter, as a recap, 6 months of supply, nationally anyway, is supposed to be reflective of a neutral market favoring neither buyers nor sellers. But can we really apply that to the single-family home market here in Jupiter? I mean, look at this chart. In the past 5 years, we haven't seen 6 months of supply anywhere on it, right? It never touches this 6-month line. So I would say that closer to 3 months of supply, somewhere down here, is probably looks like more the average if you look at the chart. So look, I'll tell you now from working with buyers, it certainly feels like there's more inventory now than there has been, which again, that's a good thing for buyers. 12-month change down 24% in the total amount of inventory, meaning buyers have 24% less homes, if you will, to choose from than they did a year ago. So it's a win for sellers and a loss for buyers there, right? All right, let's switch over to condos and townhomes. All right, condos, especially older condos close to the ocean, they have some big headwinds coming this year in the form of milestone structural integrity reports, which affects which affects insurance. Look, insurance costs are skyrocketing. You blend that together with an older building that's oceanfront, it creates a lot of pressure on current unit owners in the form of assessments, which could be good for buyers if you have a seller who's paying for all the past assessments and you're coming in and benefiting from that. So anyways, what I've seen anecdotally is there is a sharp rise in buyer interest in townhomes, and I kind of been saying this, and why does it make sense? Largely because your HOA fees will cover the exterior insurance costs in most cases, because you're sharing that cost of insurance versus a single-family home, and you tend to have budgets without things that condo buildings have normally, like valets or full-time cleaning staffs or anything like that, full-time management. The carry costs of townhomes right now, they look pretty appealing compared to other products out there, right? So just something to keep in mind. Median sale price, $580,000, still on the high side of the chart here. But again, let's not focus on this too much. Number of properties sold up 50% month over month, or 51% anyways. So statistically, just a huge move up there. We're certainly not out of the woods here if you're a seller, but it's a positive development nonetheless, considering in January the condo market here was about left for dead, right? All right, list to price. Looks like we're continuing to fall here. Here we are, again, towards the bottom of the chart, right? Largest discrepancy between what sellers thought their home was going to be worth and what they actually ended up selling for. Buyers, that may indicate there's some wiggle room on pricing. Sellers, it may indicate that you're going to have to negotiate or you're going to have to come to market at a lower price than you wanted to. Look, the further that we head down on this chart, the better it is to be a buyer. Median days. Of course, sellers would like median days to push all the way back down to here, right? Look at that. It was just insane. 7-8 days. Crazy. I'm sure if you're a seller, you'd like to see somewhere around 20 days or something, but, look, here we are. Somewhere up around 40 days, it gives a little bit of an edge to buyers, right? It says if you're a buyer and you were down here and you had to make a decision, things are only on the market for 7 days. Basically, the day you saw something or the following day, you had to make a decision. Now up here around 40 days means if you see something, there's a decent likelihood it's going to be on the market again the following week. So buyers aren't as pressured to just throw offers in to try to get something due to scarcity mindset, and so kind of advantage buyers there. Median price per square foot came off the peak here, right? Started dipping down. Looks like we're bouncing a little bit again here. So we'll see if it resumes its march north. But again, look, I don't put a ton of weight into this. Total dollar volume up 78% month over month. Statistically, that's a ludicrous move. Absolutely ridiculous, right? So that line at 40 million seems to be the point where we kind of bounce above and below, right? So it'll be interesting to see where it goes next month. See if we can kind of stay above that line, which would be a a good development for sellers in this space anyways. Months of supply. So remember on single family homes where we never saw 6 months of inventory, right? We never hit this line. Whoops. A little bit of a different market in condos and townhomes, right? So we'd broken that 6 month line there briefly and eased on back a bit here, but clearly the condo and townhome market, it's much more balanced in Jupiter than the single family home market, or much less competitive, you could look at it and say, than the single family home market. So definitely something interesting to keep an eye on. So look, that's what I got for you guys. My name's Casey Prindle. I would love to have a coffee or a cocktail with you, talk about real estate. If you're looking to buy or sell, feel free to call, text, or email me. We'll talk to you next month.